So you want to send your comics into CGC, but you don't know how. I'm happy to help. Whether you want to send in to a signing like the Todd McFarlane signing, or whether you want to just get your comics graded and slabbed, there's a couple steps to get you started. You can check out upcoming signings by going to the CGC website and looking up the Signature Series in-house signings. Here you'll see a bunch of the different artists and writers who are there signing comics, as well as any shows CGC is going to be attending where you can submit your comics on site. Once you find the creator that you're looking for, you can click on their name. In this case, we're going to click on Tyler Kirkham. And as you scroll through, you'll be able to see how much his signing costs, what is included in that signing, and at the bottom, you'll find some instructions on how to submit your comics for CGC signing and grading. The first thing you'll want to do is have a CGC membership in order to submit your books. There is a membership ranging from free all the way to elite. The premium membership gives you a 10% discount as well as a $150 credit, which kind of matches almost the price of the membership. That's typically what I use, but you can submit under any one of the different memberships. So the first thing you'll want to do is go to submit your comics, go to the CGC website and click the submit button. You want to select comics, and then you'll want to select grading. If you are doing a signature series, you'll want to select the signature series and then select the person. In this case, let's do Tyler Kirkham as an example. And then what I'm going to select here is for authentication and grading. You'll want to sign the waiver, and then you can add any add-ons such as an additional JSA autograph authentication or high-res imaging. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to look up your comic that you want to submit. So in this case, I'm going to do Amazing Spider-Man 31. This is the Tyler Kirkham variant. Once I've found it, I can click it and it'll fill up all of the information. However, in the case of where I can't find my comic in the list, I can click the button that says can't find my comic and actually fill in the details myself in order to submit that. But since we found the comic here, I'm just going to go with that. Next, you're going to have to put in a declared value for the comic. This should be the value of the comic once it's graded. Next, you can add a custom label here. It doesn't always show up, but it just depends on the comic that you're putting in, whether it qualifies. They typically cost about $8 to add a custom label. I put one here for an example, so you can see what that looks like. Going to the next page, you can review. Then you want to determine how you're going to send your package. Typically, I like to send on my own because I can get a better deal for shipping, and then I'll want to ship it back to me through CGC. I typically pick the ground shipping option as it's the cheapest and most economical, but feel free to pick whichever one works for you. And then you'll get to a payment screen. Make sure you put your payment in. This will only charge your card once the process has started. In the case of any grading or anything like that, it's once it's actually received. And once it's completed, you're going to get a submission sheet that you need to print off and put with your comics. And you need to put the comics in the order that they're listed in the sheet. In the case of any graded comics, you're going to get these little slips at the bottom that you need to cut out and put at the back of the comic. Now, if you're just sending in for grading, you can just pack your comics as well as the slip inside of the box. I typically do 5 comics per Gemini mailer and put them all within a box and make sure that they are packed nicely so that they don't move during shipment. However, if you're packing for a CGC signing, you have to do things a little bit differently. When it comes to signature series, you want the best grade possible. And in order to achieve that, you want to make sure people aren't touching your book unnecessarily. Best way to kind of handle this is by either having a window pane bag or by creating a window inside of your comic book bags itself. That's pretty easy. You can find some tutorials online. I've opted to use the window bags here because it's just easier for me, and I think that they work out great. I bought these from the CGC website, but you can find them online as well. So what you're going to do is you're going to open this up and you're going to pull off this flap, and we're going to put the board in the comic in here. That's going to slip the comic through. We're going to close the seal at the back. What this does is it allows you to ship this such that your comic book is still protected, but when the signer goes to sign it, they just need to open this pane, can sign it, and close it back up so that they don't have to pull the comic out of the bag itself. Remember, you want to put the slip that we got earlier behind the board in the comic bag such that it's easy to identify the comic that you're submitting. Make sure when you're sending your package, you also have the printout of the slip that we had for all the comics that you're submitting. And if you're getting a signature series done, what you'll want to do is you want to make sure that you write their initials on the outside of the boxes. So in our example for Tyler Kirkham, we'll write TK on each of the sides of the box. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. That's the process in order to submit to CGC. So I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any other questions. Feel free to leave a comment. Thanks for watching.